With carbon fibre reinforced plastic construction, modular battery pack design and decent pickup, the BMW i3 BEV is a great choice for anyone looking for a funky, well-built, compact city runabout. But last week, just ahead of US Thanksgiving holiday, BMW North America put a stop sale on all BMW i3 electric cars, range extended and otherwise. The reason? A crazy edge case crash test result involving an occupant that doesn't use a seatbelt, which the BMW i3 has failed. And that means that it can't be sold for now in the US. I'll be giving you the details and what it means if you're a BMW i3 owner next. In order for a new vehicle to be officially sold in the US, a car must undergo strict crash testing by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA for short. Designed to mimic some of the more common collision types and thus allow NHTSA to assess the car's abilities to protect its occupants from death or serious injury, these crash tests must be passed before the car can be sold. Consequentially, automakers work very hard to ensure their vehicles are in compliance with NHTSA standards, working alongside the agency to test their vehicles ahead of market launch. Originally, when the BMW i3 was tested by BMW and NHTSA for US compliance, it passed all of the safety required tests. But according to BMW, recent crash testing has shown that in one of the standard NHTSA crash tests, specifically the unbelted small adult rigid barrier tests, inconsistent results has shown the BMW i3 to not be in compliance and as such must be withdrawn from sale until an appropriate fix has been developed, tested and deployed. Yes, I did just say unbelted, and if you're watching this outside of the US, let me explain for a second. You see, in the US, seatbelt use isn't yet mandatory nationwide. Yep, I looked it up, in fact, to make sure I wasn't going crazy, because it became mandatory in my home country of the UK back in 1983. Yeah. While it's mandatory under Title 49 of the US Code, Chapter 301 Motor Vehicle Safety Standard that all vehicles except buses be fitted with seatbelts, 18 US states still view seatbelt laws as a secondary enforcement issue, meaning you can't be stopped by the police simply for not using a seatbelt, although you can be stopped for something else and then ticketed for not wearing a belt. And one state, New Hampshire, doesn't even require drivers to wear seatbelts. I thought the state motto was live free or die, but Anyway, given that seatbelt use in some states is as low as 72% and some states fine as little as $10 for the violation of not wearing a seatbelt, cars in the US have to pass crash tests in which the occupant is not wearing a seatbelt, as well as ones in which they are. And in the case of the BMW i3, it appears that in one of those tests, in which a 5-foot-tall female driver weighing between 100 and 110 pounds is involved in a frontal crash at a speed of between 20 and 25 miles per hour, the dummy recorded sustained loads that were marginally above the limit, causing a fail in the test. Originally, the BMW i3 passed this test, but where recent retests produced inconsistent results, BMW followed the regulations and issued a stop sale until it's completed testing of a fix and begun rolling that fix out to affected vehicles. This means that new BMW i3 BEV and BMW i3 Rex models cannot be sold at the current time, and while there's no specific law preventing used vehicles from exchanging hands either privately or through dealerships, BMW dealerships have also put a stop sale on used i3s in order to protect themselves from any backlash resulting from the sale of a vehicle which doesn't meet crash test requirements. Now, I've explained what the cause of the stop is in the US, but I'm sure for those of you who don't live in the US, you're curious as to what happens to your BMW i3. Well, right now, the recall only affects cars in the US, although it's likely that BMW, in the interests of safety, may implement the same recall for non-US models as it has for US cars, just as a matter of caution. Since this recall affects an edge use scenario in which seatbelts are not worn, I'm going to stick my neck out here and postulate that if you're wearing your seatbelt, you're far less at risk of injuring yourself than if you don't. Although it is completely up to each individual to make sure that their own judgments as to if the i3 is safe to drive or not. While a seatbelt may not protect you from all accident injury, and some people do claim that wearing a seatbelt actually makes you drive more recklessly, it's a proven fact that, as per the CDC, seatbelts reduce the risk of death by 45% and serious injury by 50%. So buckle up. And if you're looking to buy or sell a BMW i3 on the used car market, well, you may be better off waiting until the recall has been completed if you're a buyer, just for peace of mind, and you most certainly will want to wait if you're selling, just to protect yourself from any legal action if the person you buy from is feeling particularly litigious. And that's it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, hit the notification bell to hear the moment a new show is uploaded, and click the Patreon link at the end of this video or in the description below if you want to help me make more of these videos. Until next time, keep evolving!